So yes, with you two, we are at this dinner party. I think by now, like, dinner and strained, polite conversation has been made. Like, your, Greg keeps trying to engage you in conversation about how, like, there's certain members of your court are really struggling at the moment. They really need, like, more direct support. They need you to visit their businesses and, like, calm people down, because people are complaining about the fact they make no fucking money, and it's cold, and, oh my god, my son's toe fell off last night. Like, warm my house, you ungodly woman. Stuff like that. But you keep, presumably, putting him off. And they're like, he's very pointed, it's like, if you went round these places, people wouldn't be complaining. But yeah, the only other guests at this are, Sheriff, who is the Sheriff. He seems to have taken a liking to the title and just decided to not bother with his own name. And probably, I don't know, I think that's actually probably it. So you've got then...
So there's 5 of us.
Cecil and Midnight, yeah, and it's had a tense air all night. Midnight, have you spoken to Cecil about why he's organising this thing at all? Or is this your idea? To bring the people who are most responsible together in one room?
What, you mean this dinner?
Yeah. And it's now, like, retired to a nice... It's like... Cecil's house is nice. Like, he's got, like, practically... It's basically a proper, like, a proper detached house. It's got a few floors, a few bedrooms. Like, it makes every other building in this town look like shit.
No, it was completely my idea, because basically I wanted to see if Tudor actually had the balls to show up, and see what kind of mischief I could play if he decided. You
get the measure of the man.
Because it was also my idea to give him a +1, and I thought he might, you know, try and be an idiot and bring
do something.
Try and bring another girl with him.
Or you know, try and bring a large, heavy-set man capable of wielding heavy machinery in case anything went wrong. Yeah, you sense that, like, literally the exact same reason is Sheriff was invited without you knowing. Like, Cecil went behind your back, so he was like, in case creepy prophet dude tries to do something weird. He brought along his assistant. So yeah, there's a bit of a thing of, like, I think possibly, like, the limited amount of law enforcement there is the only business you haven't been able to infiltrate. Like, essentially, if this was Game of Thrones, you can't bribe the gold cloaks yet. But yeah.
Yet.
Go ahead.
Nothing. I'm mad.
Okay. So yeah, Cecil, like, leans forward over, like, he's poured out, like, a small measure of whiskey each, which is, like, probably not really had it ever, because it's usually frozen at the bottom of some horrifically low building. Like, it's in a basement of normal buildings, and the snow is so high you ain't getting down there. But yeah, he's got, like, this bottle of relatively nice whiskey, and he pours each of you a glass and kind of goes, "So, Cecil, I hear you've been making yourself rather comfortable in the industrial districts recently. I've been hearing reports about workers saying that you'd been wandering around, talking to people, making everyone feel better. I just wanted to make sure. Sheriff over here has been telling me that people have been turning up to my official department of complaints," and kind of chuckles, complaining more about living conditions down there, that, like, they feel entitled to more. I can't help but notice these two things seem to be happening at a similar time. I hope you're not doing anything unwise. And he takes a sip and kind of stares at you.
What could I possibly be doing other than just simply chatting and getting to know the everyday folk of the town and ensuring that your town runs the best it possibly can?
You're a man of the people. He kind of looks at you. By the way, do you remember at any point either of you can read situations, read people? This is definitely a charged situation. There's a man with a gun in here, and another man, like, with giant fists ready to swing them like an anvil at someone. I think I should know, yeah. Greg is kind of on edge and kind of stands like, "Are you accusing?" What's your title in your court, actually? Do you have a title, or is it just Your Majesty?
Yeah, just Your Majesty.
Okay, so what are you accusing His Majesty of doing, Cecil? So, and I think he kind of stands up, like, poised to get testosterone-y, And you just hear like the snap of Sheriff's like gun on his side, like the safety coming off. Are either of you like Greg kind of like turns to stare at him and is like staring him down? Like, are either of you intervening in this scene, or are you just like, I want to see which one dies first?
I'm just like, well, calm down, guys. We're just trying to have a conversation here. There's no need to get agitated. We're simple men of business here.
Greg kind of turns to you and is like, he gives you like an angry glare, and he's angry at you, probably more specifically about you not being there for his people and stuff. And he goes, "You have been accused of. This man accuses you of foul play and misconduct under the guise of breaking bread with you. And then this one, he kind of, you see him like physically go to spit, and then he's like, chokes down. He's like, this one dares threaten us, who will bring about the next golden age."
I simply reply that every man's home is his castle, and we must respect his wishes while we are here.
Give me a manipulate. You're specifically attempting to calm him down, so.
Oh joy!
I don't think you can pull off a frenzy unless there's another move you feel is better.
Oh no!
Suited.
I just have a pooling, and that's that.
Okay.
Pressing the button then.
Succeeds partially. Okay, you have to make a concrete promise. I believe if I can tell exactly what this is. The basic moves, and I will hit 3 so you can all see. Yes, so when you try to seduce or manipulate someone, you tell them what you want, which is you want him to calm down and treat Cecil with the respect due to him, and not get shot in the face. Okay, so he needs a concrete assurance of your promise, and I think he wants you to deal with his people, like calm them down. They lack guy. He needs you to go talk to his people.
I assure him tomorrow we will hold a full meeting of the court.
I think he turns and says, no. Once we are done here, and kind of glares over at Cecil, we head to the bar that they're drinking in, and you talk to them now.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Wait, what was the stat that you...
they're ticked on your character sheet. So
it was my call. Okay, I forgot.
Okay, you need to do some dangerous things. Cool. Yes, you successfully... Yeah, so he kind of turns... He looks towards Sheriff and then kind of turns back to Cecil and goes, "I do apologise, Mayor." And sits down sullenly next to you. Yeah, do either of you have anything else to add to the situation, or are you kind of waiting for Cecil to keep talking?
I'm waiting for Cecil.
Okay. Well, look at you, so dutiful.
At this point, I try and read the situation.
Okay, roll plus sharp.
Oh, that's not good.
Your sharp, that's a miss. Okay.
Shit's gonna go down.
Now Finn gets to kill you.
I don't get to kill him. It's a sharp roll.
I'm now misinformed, presumably, of some...
Totally misjudges.
Okay, so I'm going to do a thing here where of my many moves, one of them is called turning the move back on you. So, basically, I want to ask you...
Not supposed to use the name of the moves.
Yeah, but this is the one that's obvious. So I can't hide this one. So yeah. How are you vulnerable to Cecil at the moment? Like, he's the guy who controls the town, the lawman. Like, what part of your operation isn't established? Like, how are you vulnerable to interference? Like, where is Tudor weakest in his power structure right now?
Well, obviously, he runs the town. I only control the things that make and sell things. So
yeah,
town, I'm kind of.
Well, yeah, but like, I mean,
if we're kicked out the town, we just die.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily where you're weakest, because that would be like he attempts to remove you. There would be some form of conflict. It's like, what part of your operation is currently new, fledgling? You don't have tight hold over it. If you don't know, make something up. Maybe one of your core is new and requires indoctrination or something like.
Don't have as tight control over the food as I do with the other things.
Okay.
Food is an ongoing operation for control.
Okay. So like the food processing and manufacturing plants,
Yeah.
down in the bowels of the city's substructure. It's like you're not quite. You haven't made the inroads to that layer yet. Okay.
Yeah, bloody peasants and all that.
You know. But yeah, imagine it's like the guy who runs that place is like kind of an elevated like farmer or like worker of hard machinery, and he's seen people like you before, and he's like, I ain't having none of your shit. So he's difficult to work with. Okay, need a name for this guy. He's going to be interesting. We steal the names from the list. This guy will be Parcher. Okay.
Right, so he's a food producer that's called Parcher.
There's a lawman called Sheriff Joe.
Fine.
Yeah, it's Apocalypse World. People kind of get named in weird ways. Entire towns of people named with biblical stuff, when none of them know what Christianity is. You probably know a guy called Satan, who you're good buddies with, and you make bets with all the time. And none of you think twice about it. Okay. Cool, so yeah, so Cecil kind of leans forward, and he, like, stares at you and goes, now, I'm going to require, Tudor, the spread of your influence is worrying to me. And, well, I'm going to need it so that your little business meetings, I would prefer it if Sheriff here was extended an invitation on a regular basis. Just so you know, I feel like for the sake of the town's security, I need to keep an eye when several people of unknown intent, and he kind of glances at Greg, high-strung temperament, gather together in one place. You're all men of means, and, well, these meetings, it causes my people some concern. If Sheriff was allowed to sit at the table, it would put all our people at ease, I believe. And he gives you a rather sickly smile.
Why would you require more assurances? Midnight already sits at our table. You already are surely aware of our going-ons.
Midnight. Chip Deary.
Yeah. Sorry.
Does Cecil know that you're one of Tudor's court?
No.
Okay. Okay, do you follow through with that line? Because you would know, presumably, that
No,
was...
I wouldn't say that then.
Ah, damn. That's fine. But okay, so,
Finn wants you all to get killed.
I'm being nice. These guys are new to this, so I'm not gonna punish them for every tiny slip-up yet.
You're not gonna send 3 sea hags that way.
Not yet.
What?
I killed Johnny and someone else's character in a D&D session in one move by sending a coven of sea hags at them and threw lightning bolts at them.
Oh, charming.
Good. Yeah, so instead of saying that about Midnight, you don't, unless you specifically want to play but you already have someone act innocent like you have no idea what's going on card, but you two are friends, you probably don't want to throw her under the bus in the first session.
Yeah.
So what do you say instead then? Because, yeah, at the moment, Sheriff is a perfectly reasonable request for him to make. He totally doesn't want to spy in your organisation. What? You're not the trade union. He's not the Conservative government.
You see, that would put me in a difficult position, Cecil.
Yeah, like, Greg is, like, staring daggers into the side of your head right now.
As it would be seen as unduly of my station to allow so much visible outward interference. I'm sure as a man of power yourself, you could see that this would be less than ideal.
Okay. I think that... Yeah, like, so... I think you can tell, like, that... So Midnight here. You can tell that Tudor he's doing a pretty good job, but, like, he's not on your level, and he doesn't have your inroads with Cecil. So are you going to, like, pitch in here at all and kind of pick a side in some way? But, you know, be subtle about it, or are you just going to let Tudor flounder and have to attempt to make a seduce and manipulate roll, or manipulate roll to be like, I'm totally legit. But I mean, you could try and say, he's totally legit, it's fine. Or something to that effect. So I just want to know, would you jump in, or are you happy to be the audience? The pretty, seen but not heard.
For now, definitely I'd be the audience.
Okay. Yeah, so...
I want to let it brew for a little while.
Okay. So, are you going to try and seduce manipulate him into not putting Sheriff in? Or do you have an alternative to suggest? Because, I mean, if you're just saying we shouldn't do that, you're going to have to roll.
Yeah, let's trust the dice. Trust the dice.
Yeah, let's trust the dice.
Can never go wrong, can it?
Ever goes wrong.
In my -1 stat.
I'm
Yeah.
so
There's literally
so much confidence.
a +4 modifier difference. No, so only +3 actually between you and Midnight and this kind of roll.
Don't throw her under the bus, and this is how she repays me. So you know.
This is gonna go.
Let's watch this go wrong. Though.
Going to be glorious. Okay.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. So let me just have a look. So I can take this.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not good.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
good.
You rolled a double 1 with a
Yeah, I know,
-1.
That's quite impressive, to be honest.
That's a spectacular failure.
Didn't matter what modifier I had at the end.
Not really.
No.
Okay.
That's special. Also, Finn, you need to be on the screen so that you can also see the 1.
No, I have shown the one. I did show the one. But, okay, so, yeah, I think he leans forward, and he goes, well, Tudor, while I appreciate your need to appear above the petty dealings of the commoners, I'm afraid I'm really going to have to insist. And again, you hear this, like, I think Sheriff just leans forward and coughs, and, like, 2 men, like, the door's open, and, like, I think his like, manservant, like, shows in another 2 men who just walk in and just lean against the door, both of whom are looking at their weapons as if they're totally just like, oh, that's quite interesting, yeah. I've never noticed my gun had so many bullets in it before. And Sheriff's, like, safety once again audibly snaps off. It's like, so... I do want to ensure you get back to your people. It really means a lot to me that you're doing so much to keep my town happy and smoothly working. And I would hate for something bad to happen to you right here. That we would fall out, or that you'd have some accident while walking home in the snow. The ice is very treacherous at this time of night. And he gives you a very long stare. Sheriff is just, like, glaring at Greg. No, he's not glaring, actually. He's just dead-eye staring at Greg. Just like, make move, I dare you, fucking dare you. And Greg, like, is practically vibrating with rage next to you, but he's now slightly more intimidated by being in a room full of guns. Midnight, what are you doing? There's a lot of men with guns in what is essentially your living room. What do you do? Yeah.
There's a lot of tension in the room, isn't there?
There's a fair amount of tension, yeah. I think it's basically, put my man on your court or die in this room. Cecil probably is more concerned over how long it's going to take to clean his carpet. Like, you know Cecil. He won't care about killing Tudor. But he thinks that he can outplay Tudor. Actually, I'm not going to tell you any more information. Yeah, you know Cecil well enough to say that he will kill Tudor here and now.
I kind of don't want him to kill Tudor.
Well, then do something. You have moves. You can seduce and manipulate. You can read a charge situation or read a person. You can't really hypnotize him in this sort of conditions, but you could also just start taking off your clothes.
I was gonna say, can I just like start stripping?
I mean, you can just. I don't know. Do you just
look at me?
You just drop your scarf with like a whoops, and like the entire room just goes. But yeah, that will break the tension for a moment. So I think now either you, like everyone in the room's attention is now on you if you want to use that. Or Tudor, you kind of recover reasonably quickly, so you could try and say something here. You could just agree, because I think you're still in the position of... I think now, it's like, you've got to suggest something viable, as an alternative, and that's as good for him, or just suck it up. Or Midnight has to bail you out a bit further. I'll take off more of it.
Okay. I suggest that instead of Sheriff's outward military presence, if perhaps...
Sheriff, he's just the lawman. He's
if perhaps
the strong hand of discipline.
Midnight could sit, it would provide you with eyes and ears on what's going on, while at the same time allowing me to present some air of control.
He, at this point, turns to Midnight and goes, Midnight, tell me, what do you think of this arrangement? Would you be willing to be a supervising hand? On supervise my eyes and ears within the court. He looks at you, waits for a response.
I'm just say that again.
He goes like, would you be willing to be my eyes and ears within the court?
Who said that?
Cecil. Like,
oh, okay.
Tudor suggests you instead of Sheriff, and he's like kind of looking at you. I think there's an element of distrust. I think maybe during the Tudor floundering to persuade Cecil about, Sheriff's a bad call. He may be caught. Help me, look, from Tudor. So he's kind of like, give me a good reason why this is an idea. But he's decided it's your turn to do some explaining. So yeah, what do you say? Or do? Like, you're just kind of standing there, scarf on the floor, or whatever it is, and yeah, he's the room full of angry men with guns and a crazy dude are waiting for your word on the situation. Are you gonna say like, I think that's a great idea, I could be da 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 da, and try and manipulate him into letting you be that? Are you just gonna say nah?
Well,
turn Tudor.
I kind of don't want to be someone's eyes and ears, because that sounds like a real amount of effort.
But here's the issue.
Here's the issue.
If Sheriff joins the court, he'll meet you, unless you get very secretive about it.
And you can manipulate what he finds out.
Yeah.
This is true.
So you have if you come up with a good reason why, no, that's totally legit. Here's all the reasons why I'd be great there. Yeah.
Yeah, your cover would be blown if the Sheriff joins as well.
Yeah. You'd have to remove yourself as a quiet patron of the court if Sheriff joined. So Sheriff joining is an inconvenience to you, as well.
Because then Cecil finds out that I'm...
Yeah. Or you have to go to extreme lengths for him not to find out. Either one. So yeah. What do you say to Cecil, then? Or you could just simperingly agree and go for the I'm so harmless and yes, that would be lovely. If that's your style, I don't know.
It's not though.
Well, then think of your style. What would Midnight say to agree to this, or do you want to give the impression that you're like, oh, that's such a drag? Fine. Is that what you're going for? Is the like?
This is boring. Like,
okay.
Even though I'm on the court, it's like, well, I don't want to feel like I want to jump on the court.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So yeah, give me a seduce manipulate. Roll plus hot. If you go into a character sheet, there's like all your stats. If you click the dice button next to seduce and manipulate, it will just roll it for you.
The one next to what and what and what?
Under hot, there's seduce and manipulate. There's a little like square button with a dice on it, or a shape on it. Click that button. Well, okay. Yeah. So you're like, yeah, you give off the air of Tudor. It is like watching an art, like a glorious a wonderful musician like play a symphony. The way that she just utterly diffuses all the tension in the room. She makes it as if it's like some huge inconvenience to her, but fine, she'll go there and she'll build the bridges between you. It's frankly just a miracle. And Cecil kind of acquiesces and goes, very well. Midnight will sit on the court. I expect you to be very welcoming, Cecil. I would expect you to be very welcoming, Tudor. I would hate to hear any bad news. He kind of puts his hand on top of Midnight's hand. Like, Midnight means a great deal to me.
I simply assure him that nothing will happen while she is in attendance, and that I appreciate his understanding in this matter.
Fantastic. Okay. Diddle-dum. Alright. I like the place we've got to right now. So I'm going to ask, how much do people want to keep going, or do we want to stop here?
Ask the chat.
Well, chat, will...
Chat's not necessarily reliable on this one.
Yeah, this is up to you guys. Like, are we willing to stay up for another hour, or do we want to call it here for this time? People,
I'm
wanna
happy to stay up, I guess.
Okay.
I'm happy to keep going. As long as
Yeah.
people are.
I have to be up at some point tomorrow, but fuck it, why not?
That's at a time.
As
Cool.
in I have to be in another place at like 1 o'clock.
Oh, come on.
1 o'clock! Come
Jesus,
on.
terrifying.
I'm up
Okay,
at 1 o'clock today.
we'll go for one more hour and then we'll finish up. Okay.
Can I get a drink? then?
Yes, let's take a quick,
That's a good plan.
like, 2-3 minute break. Everyone nip and grab a glass of water or whatever. We will be back with you very shortly. You guys, fuck off. And, doop. Okay. Thanks all for coming down. We're going to be back in just a moment.